Welcome back to Body by Blake. Today I'm going to go over a list of things that you'll want to think about before you go back to the gym or before you go to the gym for the first time to make sure that it's a success and that you get the most out of it that you possibly can. So step one, you've made a decision to go and use the gym. This is the very first step. To know the goal behind what you're going to the gym for is the main purpose. Because if you're just going to the gym and wandering around aimlessly, that's not really going to help in the long run. So you have a goal. That goal could be anything. Like I said in my last video, it could be weight loss. It could be muscle growth. It could be joint flexibility. It could be recovering from an injury. It could be any of these things. You just have to know what your goal is. I get it that the weight section in a gym can be pretty intimidating at first. When I was 20, I started going to a public health and fitness club, and within a month I had a personal trainer who is to this day one of the best coaches that I've ever had in my life, fitness-wise, or anything-wise for that matter. But I would never go into the weight section without him because I was, I didn't really know at that point how to put together a workout routine. I didn't know all of the uses that the equipment was for. I was self-conscious, and this is a big thing. Like, I can't pretend that I was not self-conscious of using this equipment and doing these exercises, because I totally was. And it's normal to feel that way, but I've since outgrown that, and now I have the tendency to walk into any fitness center that I go in to use, kind of like I own the place. And it's not a bad attitude to have, provided that you're not pushing people around and being rude. When I say like you own the place, like you deserve to be there, just like anybody else has the right to be there. This is the main thing. You need to walk in, and even if you don't feel 100% confident, you need to look like you're 100% confident, because even holding yourself up a little bit higher is going to improve your attitude. Step 2 is to have a plan. Before you even get to the gym, you need to write down exactly what you're going to do once you get there. This could be any number of things, and it depends, again, on the goals that you set before you go there. Some days I go and I say, okay, I'm going to do a half an hour on the treadmill or a half an hour on the Stairmaster. And I go and I do a half an hour on the treadmill or the Stairmaster. Other days I say, okay, I'm going to work on legs today, but I'm going to do a leg split. So I do, quads and calves, and then on another leg day I'll do hamstrings and glutes. And then on upper body day I'll do shoulders and back, and on the other days I'll do chest and arms, which includes biceps and triceps. You have to know this before you go into a gym. If you don't know how to put together a workout routine, ask somebody. You can go on bodybuilding.com, you can go on simplyshredded.com. They have a few workout splits on there. Generally, some of the wording of those workouts is a little bit obscure, so if you don't know what a workout is, look it up and make sure that you know how to do it before you get to the gym. That way you don't injure yourself. I would suggest that you have it written down. Use a journal. I have a composition notebook that I write down all my workouts in. Don't get me wrong, sometimes I don't write the workout until I get to the gym, and I'll sit on the floor and spend 5 minutes and write out the workout that I'm going to do, depending on how I feel, and maybe I am still sore in one spot from a previous workout, and so I'll work a different area just to make sure that I'm not unbalanced. But I would say don't rely on internet or Wi-Fi once you get to the gym, because that can be pretty sketchy sometimes. Just have it out on a piece of paper, have it out on a journal, in a composition notebook, on a slip of paper, anything. Have it written out so that way you can just follow it and you can get in and get what you need to get done, and then get out. Step 3 is to get comfortable. This is fairly straightforward. Pick an outfit that you're comfortable in. There are some exercises that you do that might feel a little bit awkward at first, and so you want to make sure that you are wearing an outfit that you're not going to be constantly pulling at or pulling, like, as I've been losing weight, my pants have started to fit less and less, so I have to keep hiking up my pants, and you don't want to have to do that if you're already uncomfortable doing certain exercises. So just pick an outfit that you know you're comfortable in, that you know you're going to be secure in when you're working on these new exercises. When you are at a gym and you eventually wander over to the weight section, the first thing you're going to realize is that generally it's going to be mostly male dominated, and that's pretty normal. In bigger gyms or more populated gyms, it's beginning to be more even as far as male versus female, but you can't go in there and be like, okay, I'm new to this and I'm doing these new exercises, and oh man, what if I do something wrong? These people are going to think that I'm nuts. You're probably going to do something wrong right at first, and that's totally, it's not okay if you continue to do something wrong, because then you're going to get injured and this is not a good thing. But you have to, once you know the form that you need for the exercise, you have to just do it. And you can't think for 1 minute about what other people are thinking about you, because it doesn't matter. And that's the bottom line. It does not matter what other people think about what you're doing in the gym, because you're there for yourself, not to get the approval of anybody else. And that's all she wrote on that subject. I know you're probably thinking that it's super easy for me to just sit here and tell you, don't worry about what they think, because I know that I know that it's not that easy, and I've been through it. Like I said, the first few months that I was in the gym, I was afraid to go into the weight section by myself too, and it's just that I've gotten over it, I know that there are still things that I do in a weight room where, like, people will look at me and be like, what is that chick doing on the leg extension? There's in certain fitness centers, there's a lack of equipment that you need to isolate certain muscle groups, and so you just have to make do with what you have. I also have this altitude mask that I wear on the treadmill sometimes, and it cuts the time that I need to do cardio by a larger fraction. And nobody wants to be on the treadmill for an hour when I could only be on there for half an hour or for 20 minutes. And that's what this thing, it does. It just speeds up my heart rate faster so that I can stay up in the fat burning heart rate zone, or the whatever I need to be at. Whatever the goal is for the day, this mask helps me get there faster, and so the workout is shorter. And it literally, it's not a magic mask, and I wouldn't suggest going out to buy one first thing, because I just got it to experiment with. But it has these little valves, and it restricts the amount of air that you're breathing in, so you have to take deeper breaths, and it kind of gets you used to a lack in oxygen, even though it's not taking oxygen out of the air. But to get back to the point, you go into a gym and do what you gotta do, like I said. And don't worry about what people think, because it's just gonna impede you from improving, and you don't have time for that, to be held back by something that's so trivial that probably doesn't even exist. It's probably just in your own mind. Just go in, do what you need to do, and get out. My last suggestion Step 4 is to make sure that you're doing form checks. Make sure that you pick exercises that you know how to do, and that if there's something you don't know how to do, look it up before you get to the gym, because just like exercise can be good for you, it could also injure you if you don't do it properly. And this is something that we all want to avoid, because rehabilitation from injury isn't fun, and it takes a long time, and it dampens your spirits worse than most anything else. So just make sure that you are checking and feeling and making sure that you are feeling the exercise where it needs to be felt. If you're working on a lateral raise, you should be feeling it in your shoulder and not your forearm. You need to make sure that you are feeling the exercise where it needs to be felt. And you can get a lot of this information just by Googling the exercise, because it'll tell you what muscle group that you're focusing on. If you're on a circuit machine, these machines have illustrations on them that say, if you're doing like a leg press, for example, the leg press will say, okay, you should be feeling it in your quads and your hamstrings. Depending on what your foot position is, sometimes you can feel it in different places, but that's neither here nor there. That's besides the point. But just make sure that you're doing it right, because you're trying to make yourself healthier, and you're trying to make yourself better. We're not trying to injure ourselves. So keep that in mind. I hope that those tips are a little bit helpful for you when you're getting ready to go to the gym and planning out your visit there. Like I said, make a goal, make a plan to get to that goal. Get comfortable with yourself. Put the clothes on that you need to feel comfortable in. Wear good shoes. Make yourself a playlist. Music can be a big help when you're working out. Sometimes, like me, if you're really bad at keeping your Bluetooth headphones charged, then you have to just deal with whatever music's in the gym. But music does help when you're lifting, especially or even when you're doing treadmill and you're 15 minutes in and you're just like, this sucks and I want to be done, but I still have 15 minutes left to go, and then you hear a song that comes on and you really like the song and it gives you an extra boost. That's the benefit of listening to music when you are in a gym. And make sure that you warm up and stretch as a part of your getting comfortable, and form checking, and all of these things are kind of interlinked. Have a plan, get comfortable, form check, make sure that you're doing everything to prevent injury and to really get the most out of these exercises that you're doing. So that's everything for today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next week.